Today I'm going to show you how to cut curtain bangs yourself from home. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is part your hair in the middle. Curtain bangs open in the center, so you need to cut them in either a middle or just off center part. Some people prefer cutting bangs when their hair is dry, but I personally like to cut everything wet and then texturize when the hair is dry. I just find it much easier to get equal tension on the hair when it's wet, and my cuts just always come out cleaner and more precise in general that way. From here, you're going to want to create a triangle subsection from the part to the temples. If you want thicker bangs, make this section bigger by making the point of your triangle further back on the head. If you want thinner bangs, don't go as far back, so make your triangle a little bit smaller. Make the point of your triangle come more forward so that you have less hair in the section. Now we have to cut a guide. What you want to do is take a small section from the very middle and line it up to the length that you want. I personally do not like it when my bangs sit too short because I need length in order for them to have this curvature right on my cheek. And it really annoys me when any hair sits around my eye level. So I always cut my guide to either the bottom of my lip here or to actually my chin. If you want more of a traditional curtain bang look, you can actually go a little bit shorter, and a good reference point is the bottom of your nose. Start longer. Okay, maybe start at the top of your lip or the bottom of your lip, because you can always go in and repeat everything with a shorter guide later if you want to, but you can't do the reverse. Always go conservative, start a little bit longer. Now that you have your guide, you can release the other sections of the triangle and cut them to the same length of that guide. Now cross-check your work by lining everything up just to make sure that it's all even before you move on to the next step. Now the next step is to go back to your middle part. Starting on that first side, comb your hair all the way to the other side, crossing your face, keeping your fingers parallel to the part line, and cut off that little corner here. What you're doing is you're actually creating an angle to the hair while also softly layering it at the exact same time. Once you've done one side, tuck that hair away so that you don't get confused, and repeat that exact same step on the other side, crossing the hair over, keeping your fingers parallel to that subsection, and cutting. When you release the hair, you'll see that it goes from short to long naturally. It's like magic. Now let's check our work to make sure that we are even on both sides. When you comb your entire triangle section forward again, this is what it should look like now. Okay, it should be shorter in the middle and it should get longer towards the edges of that triangle section. Make sure again that both sides are even by comparing their length. Every little section, compare its length before you move on. If they are not even for whatever reason, you can easily correct this by curving that section in your hands like this and snipping anything off that isn't following that line. The next step is to break up the line or texturize it so that it sits softer around the face. The way that I do this is by blow drying everything forward with minimal volume. I just want it to be smooth and straight so that I can see what's going on clearly. Now, in order to see what needs to be softened, I go back to how I originally cut the hair. So that is parted in the middle and directed to the opposite side. When you do this, you'll be able to see how strong that line is, and you can then go in and point cut into that line to soften it. Now, when you are point cutting, it is very important to keep your scissors going straight into the hair. Okay, repeat this modestly on both sides and then release and check to see how it's sitting first before doing any more. Another way that I like to texturize is by combing the hair forward like we did when we initially created our guide and cutting into it that way. Again, make sure that when you are texturizing, your scissors are not angled at all. If your scissors are angled, you'll actually cut a little bit of length. If your scissors are straight up and down, you're going in and affecting the density. So you're softening the line, but you're not getting rid of any length or changing the balance of the cut. When you're doing this, it's really important for me to stress that you just want to do a little bit at a time. You want to go modest with this, and then you want to open up the hair, because when you open up the hair, you can see whether or not it's sitting really nice and soft against your cheek, or if you need to go in and do a little bit more. Just do a little bit at a time, check it, and then reevaluate from there. In this next part, I want to show you how I blow dry for volume so that the bangs sit a little fluffier and they're not so flat against the forehead. Now, the first thing I do is I go in with a volume mousse of some kind right in the root, and I make sure that I have that grippy product there so that I get lift that actually lasts. Okay, after I blow dry my entire head of hair, I leave that very top section unparted. Now, to get this top section really full, I actually place my blow dryer brush on both sides of my hair, and I blow dry it forward and backwards, forwards and backwards. I do this several times until the hair is 100% dry. Now you can see when I release the hair from here, my bangs automatically fall with that soft curve, but it's not flat against my forehead on the root. Wetting and blow drying your bangs is the absolute best way to get them to look really good. It is much, much better than trying to shape them with a flat iron or a curling iron when they are already dry. My last and final step is always to spray them so that they sit perfectly all day long. They don't get into my eyes. The way that I like to do that is by shaping them where I want them to sit with my hands or with a comb, and then blasting them with a very light to medium hold hairspray like Sebastian Shaper. I want them to sit properly, but I don't want them to be rock hard and outdated looking. This is how they look when I throw my hair half up in a claw clip, and this is how they look when I throw my hair all up in a claw clip. As you can see, the framing around the face really softens and elevates pretty much any look by a lot. I even did a messy little bun so that you can see how pretty it still looks even when the hair itself isn't in any way styled or fancy. When you have bangs like this in the morning, you just need to take a few minutes to blow them out, and then whatever else you choose to do with your hair, whether that's up or down or messy, will just look so much more elevated. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to as many as I possibly can. This video's over.